Did you know you can mine the weather? This device from SkyX makes it possible on how you can actually track weather data and get paid from it. Welcome back to Mining Minds. My name is Jordan, and today we're going to be talking about the SkyX-100, which is SkyX's first device that you can start tracking that weather data and getting paid for it. So I'm going to talk about a little bit of my experiences so far. I've had this device a little over a week now. If you're looking to get into a cryptocurrency project really early on, this is a really good opportunity for you. Now, this one right here, essentially what it does is it tracks a couple things about the weather itself. So the first thing is going to be the actual temperature. It is going to track the humidity, air pressure, and wind. Now, why exactly is this data even valuable? Like, what's the point of having a device like this when I can just go on my phone and check the weather map? I'm sure you've probably experienced this before. You look outside and you look on your phone and they don't match up. This essentially is going to help create real-time, hyper-accurate weather data. So in the future, the weather map that you're looking at is going to be as accurate as possible, as it will be able to be updated in real time. That's what this device from SkyX makes possible. Now, essentially, SkyX is working along with SpaceX. They're taking some of their data combined with SkyX's data that are collected from the SkyX-100 models, and is combining it together into creating a hyper-accurate weather map. Now, they incentivize you by participating by paying you out in Nano, which is SkyX's point system that is eventually going to likely be converted into SkyX cryptocurrency tokens. And this device right here, essentially that you can pick up for just a couple $100 makes that possible. Now, why would you want to even get into this project in the first place? I think there's a couple things that you would need to take into account as to whether this is something you want to get into. First off, if you are interested in getting into projects early, this would definitely be something that I think is going to be really popular in the future. The reason for it is, well, everyone is impacted by the weather, and we oftentimes make decisions based on the weather. So having hyper accurate weather data is definitely something that has real world value. I'm all about coins and tokens that have real world applications, and SkyX definitely falls into that. Now, this device right here, like I said, I've been using it for a little over a week now. So here are my earnings at the moment. Essentially, every 6 hours, you're going to be earning 25 nano. These are going to be points that you're going to want to stack up as many as you can, because eventually I suspect that we're going to be able to convert them into coins, which you can then sell at a later point, both paying off the device itself, but also coming out in a profit as well. And getting into early project, you have the ability to stack as many as possible, as there are less people on the network. The less people there are, the more points and coins you can accumulate right now. At the moment, I've so far mined over 1,100 of these nano points. These nano points are accumulated every 6 hours via 25 points at a time. So after one day, you're going to accumulate 100 points, assuming the device has been turned on the entire time. Now, the device itself is actually a wireless product. There are no cords that you have to plug into the wall to make this work. It is a device that you can optionally also pair with a solar panel. So if you want to have this device completely hands off, you can do that with this device right here. The one that I picked up, I didn't choose to get a solar panel for, just simply because the battery life is incredible on this device. So being that we are so early in this project right now, this is definitely the best time if you're looking to get into a DEPIN project like this, just simply because you are not competing with that many people at the moment. So your rewards are going to be as high as possible. Being that it is so early into the project, you're going to be able to get ahead of most people by getting into it now. Now, this device right here costs a couple $100. So what do I suspect that this device will end up creating? For most of my DEPIN device experience, I've usually seen that $1 a day is usually the average of what I've been seeing. But being that we are so early into this project right now and that there are not many miners online, I suspect there's probably around 3,000 to 5,000 at the moment. The Explorer, where you can actually see the entire weather map and all the data about the network, is actually not even publicly available at the time of making this video. So I don't have the exact number, but I would suspect between 3,000 to 5,000 devices. I say that because when I first got started, you can actually see your rank on the app itself, where you can see how your points stack against everyone else's. When I started, it was around 3,000. And what I like about that is it kind of makes it like a game, as I'm competing with everyone else, and I can kind of get an idea of how my device is comparing to the rest of the world. Use it as a way to help motivate you to constantly want to keep this device online because you want to keep your rank nice and low. From here, I want to transition and actually talk about the unit itself. The actual SkyX is actually built pretty darn well. Now it is mostly plastic, but there are some parts that are metal right here, or it feels similar to metal. Maybe it's just a hard plastic, but it certainly is a really nice built device. I don't think this is going to break on you anytime soon. You have the ability to mount it on the bottom, so if you want to have this in like your backyard or somewhere way high up so you can get the best weather data, you can certainly do that. But you also have these deployable like a tripod kind of like legs, and you can essentially then just set it down, and then this device will just run on its own. The only thing you need to have this device actually work is a Wi-Fi connection, so it does need to be somewhat nearby your house or somewhere where there is a local Wi-Fi connection where this can connect to. The device right here has a couple things, so you can actually track the wind, as the wind will just blow this essentially. It spins around and it can calculate the speed of the wind. And then I would suspect the rest of the data is collected through here, such as the air pressure, temperature, and things of that sort. With this being such an early project, the app has limited functionality at the moment, but getting this paired up to my phone was very effortless. I've had several DEPIN devices in the past that was quite a headache to actually get up and going. This one right here was probably the easiest experience I've ever had with any DEPIN device. So getting it set up was super simple. All I did is download their SkyX app, which I'll have a link for that in the description below. You can then pair this device via Bluetooth, and then from there, you are done. You would just set this outside, and before you know it, you're going to start earning nano points. So being so early into the project and that we're being paid into points, we are technically not earning any coins that we can sell right away. So you do need to have a little bit of patience if you are going to get into this. Do not expect that you're going to be earning dollars right away, just simply because these points have no US dollar value just yet. We simply don't know what these are actually making, but if I had to project, my guess is probably around $1 per day. And when I compared the SkyX to other similar projects such as WeatherXM, there are a couple advantages that I actually really like about this one versus all the other DEPIN projects. The first one is that this is a portable device. You can actually take this wherever you go. So if you go on, say, a road trip going up north, or heck, going down south, wherever, you can always take this with you, and you're still going to be earning points in that area. You would have to update the location when you're there, so you are giving the network the most accurate data. Being that this by itself does not know its own location, you have to assign it within the app. But doing so only takes a quick second, so I don't think that is a big deal. Perhaps over time, this can somehow link to your phone, and it already knows where exactly it is, so you don't have to keep redeploying it in a sense. But I think for the time being, this is a pretty simple project to get up and going right away. Now, I will say the only little thing that I'm not a huge fan about this device is how you actually charge it. Now they did a good job of actually designing this right here, but when you plug it in the charge via USB-C, getting it unplugged is a little bit tricky, as you don't want to yank on the cord to unplug it. I find that you almost need to pinch it here, that way you don't destroy the cord, because if you break the cord, you might have a hard time charging this device. So with that being said, maybe that's like the only thing that I don't really like about it, but that is such a small thing and it has no impact on your earnings whatsoever. I think overall this thing is built to last. It doesn't feel cheap. It does cost a couple $100, so you do have to invest a little bit into the project if you want to get started. But if you want to get in early, that is sometimes the price you have to pay. And being that this is a portable device, I think that's going to be some of the appeal of it. Being that anyone can grab one of these, you don't need to have some elaborate setup in your backyard in order to deploy one of these, such as you would, say, with like a GeoNet or WeatherXM. Being that I could even just place this on the ground, on my car, pretty much anywhere that has a Wi-Fi connection, this thing is going to be good to go. So that's one of the things that I just absolutely love about this device that I don't think any of the other ones can compare to. And as time goes on, I would love to keep documenting my journey so far with SkyX, and I'd love to talk more about it as time goes on, as I think this project has a ton of potential. But I want to know what you think about this project. Is this something you would get into? Do you already mine other projects out there, such as WeatherXM, GeoNet, Nublia? I think SkyX has a ton of potential, but let me know. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below if this is something you would pick up for yourself. Let me know why or why not. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Thank you for watching the Mining Minds channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.